hi di di di, yada di di di, yada di 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 dum, yada di di di, yada di di di, yada di di di. Yada da da da, yada da 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 da, yada da 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 dum, yada da da da, yada da 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 dum, yada da da da, yada da da da. Yada da 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 dum. Erev Tov, good evening. It is all right. I got on at 9:31. Not so terrible. Today was a day. Yeah, today was a day. Anyway, but we're here, so we're gonna close out that day, and we're gonna move on to what is the new day. And so I had one of those things that don't usually happen. Um, or I haven't had the experience actually. I did a funeral today, and the funeral went perfectly, wonderfully. The people were thrilled, but there were some other people that have some different views on who should be rabbis and who shouldn't. And so there was a little bit of stress and struggle, but I held my ground and it was respectful. But there, there are some Jews that don't think women should be rabbis, and so there was a little bit of that, which I haven't had. I mean, I've had situations where, Orthodox men can't hear women sing. And so I've had, Orthodox relatives or friends of whoever the deceased is, and, they walk away a little bit and as to not hear, and they come back. But today was a little bit different than that. And so it was like something that was just weighing on me for the whole day. And it was, nothing terrible happened. I stood up for myself. I did a great job like I always do. And I pride myself in the work that I do and all of that. And it was just, it just wasn't that. So, anyway, that was the day. And so, before we move on to the next day, we offer some gratitude for moments that were great for today. Um, One moment of gratitude certainly today was that drop off at school on day 2 back from a vacation of being with Ema for 12 days went much smoother. So that was actually a moment of great gratitude. So that was actually wonderful. And my students this afternoon were great. And so what more? It can't be that bad, right? And so hopefully you had some moments where you could feel that gratitude was palpable in your day. And then also, there's moments of forgiveness. And before we start a new day, let us close out this day. Oh, guide of the universe, I'm forgiving anyone who angered, antagonized, or hurt me today, whether they did so accidentally or willfully, whether through speech or deed. And I hope for all of us, we can all say that we hope that we're forgiven for anything that we've done through action or word, willfully or accidentally. May we be forgiven for those moments. May compassion and kindness be our guide as we approach the next day together. L'shem yichud kushabrichu ushchinte hineni muchan umizuman lekayem mitzvat haseh shel svirat haomer shel svirat haomer shel svirat haomer shel svirat haomer Sheva Shabbatot Timimot Tihyena Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu, b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu, al sfirat haomer, al sfirat haomer, hayom Hayom asara yamim, Shem Shivua Echad, Ushlosha Yamim, Laomer. This is the 10th day, totaling 1 week and 3 days of the Omer. Sometimes I feel like it moves so quickly, and other times it's like snail's pace. But I'm feeling in this moment, in the second week, on the third day, that we are cruising along, that it's not racing, it's not too slow, it's just right. It's letting us do a little bit of work each day together. And so on this day, the 10th day is Tiferet Sheba Gevura. Also, the allergies are, I don't know, could they just get a little better? It's crazy. So, Tiferet, beauty and harmony and compassion within strength and justice, restraint, um, awe, humility. And so we are in the moments that we decide that there is a dimension of truth to ferret. There's a dimension of truth, the proper balance between love and justice in the week of Gevura, in the week where we direct and focus on life and on love. And so before we talk about what this day is all about, let us add our square to our Omer counting calendar. Some of us are very visual people, and others of us are, we can just go by whatever the words say. But visually, we can see how far we've come and how far we have to go. But here we are in this moment. And so, on day 8, we're on day 10. On day 8, we focused on disciplines, loving motivation. Yesterday, we started working on strength within strength, like to have enough strength, to have enough of what we need to reflect on things that might be our truth, but how would we react to them if it wasn't the truth? Like some people will sell their soul for a decision they make or an idea or a way or a thought, until perhaps maybe they're wrong, and that will just rock their whole world. And today, on day 10, it's all about balance. We talked a little bit yesterday about yielding in order to find strength. But today is about balance. Balance within strength. Tiferet Sheba Gevura, day 10, balance within strength. The strength to yield, the willingness to hold our judgments lightly. Well, this should have been for yesterday or for today in daylight. To hold our judgments lightly. I judged the minute I pulled into the parking lot. But it was like something I knew. I knew something wasn't going to go right. But in the end, it went right because I stood up for myself. So it should have been whatever. We're a day late. Hopefully not $1 short. The radiance of a generous heart that sees clearly and guides us in valuing what is difficult and what is different. The radiance of a generous heart that sees clearly and guides us in valuing what is difficult and what is different. What is difficult and what is different is part of everyday living. It's part of the unfolding of how the world works. If every moment in time was a perfect moment, if every one of us was perfect, we wouldn't be showing up to count the Omer. If everybody was perfect, we'd be in a world which would feel quite robotic. There would be no willingness to try. There would be no striving for betterment. It would just be what it was. It would be black letters on white parchment or off-white parchment, And that would be the way of the world. But we know that that's not the way it goes. We know that there's space between the letters and space between the words and space between the lines. And it is the unfolding and the reading between the lines. We've all heard this, the reading between the lines, the moments that are difficult, the moments that are different, the moments where we are shaking our heads, scratching our heads, wondering, rolling our eyes, all the things that we do so well. That's part of living. But finding a balance between that which feels right and that which is difficult helps us to balance, helps us to use our strength in ways sometimes we didn't even know that we needed that strength. And here it is, it's showing up for us. And in other times, we have such a surplus of strength because hey, things are just going the way they should go. And so we find ourselves having to move, tipping the scale towards balance. You know, when you come into a situation and I hate to use this reference, but it works, guns a blazing. Had I gone into the situation I was in earlier today by opening my mouth, which I did in the end, but opening my mouth straight out of the gate, I would have never found a comfortable balance to even get through what I needed to do as a professional. And so it was here, and all I tried to do for the entire hour was move it down. This is a difficult situation. This is different. This is not where I want to be. But if we go into something with all the strength in the world, we are going to burn out. There will never be balance, and we will fall on the ground. The reminder is we're going to judge people. It says we shouldn't. Torah tells us don't. Tradition says, oh, that's frowned upon. But as humans, we complain, we judge. I went to pick up something at the pharmacy. Pharmacist who I love says, Rabbi, how are you today? I said, I'm sweating. He said, perfect. I know if we still have the ability to complain, then we're okay. Right? We're still alive. We're able to complain. And so we just laughed and moved on with the day. And that was right after, I went there from the cemetery. So I was in this different mindset, different space, and we laughed over a complaint. And so if we are going to judge anyway, maybe we can do it more lightly, right? It doesn't have to be up here, it could be somewhere here. Reminding ourselves that the radiance of a generous heart, to open our heart space a tiny bit more, to open our eyelids, to see a little more clearly. That will help us, that will guide us, that will bring us to a place that says, hey, wait a minute, there is value in difficult and different situations. We know this. We don't like it when we're in it. It feels terrible, actually. But the way that we manifest our energy, our strength, our own ability to try to maintain balance, homeostasis, a place where things are just moving the way they're supposed to be moving. If we constantly try to recalibrate and bring ourselves to a place of better balance, then we're using our strength wisely. What's the beauty in that? The beauty in those moments, say, hey, wait a second. I have a purpose. Hey, wait a second. I really didn't think that situation was going to be great, but it turned out to be okay. Hey, wait a second. Where is the beauty in this conversation? Hey, wait a minute. I can see your point. There's beauty in that. Situations continue to arise in the unfolding of what's going on in the world, on college campuses, the fact that our hostages are still captive, things in our families, health issues, whatever it is. These are the things. We are in different and difficult times. Personally, globally, wherever you are. But the idea of Tiferet Shebegavura, the idea of balance within strength, is to say, you know what? Things aren't going to be perfect. So complain, but maybe complain a little less. Judge, but because we know we're going to do it anyway, a little bit less. In order for us to see that difficult and different situations can be met with a generous heart. So when we ask the question, which is the practice for today, where is the beauty in this moment? We'll be able to say, Psalm 10 on day 10, verse 17, listening deeply strengthens our hearts. I often use the phrase, people will say, Rabbi, thank you, whatever. You did a beautiful service, whatever the words are, for whatever situation. And I always say, always, it's not about how well you do your job. It's about the sacred listening that is part of being who I am. The ability to listen. I don't always have the answer. I don't always do the right thing. None of us do. But when we find the balance in the strengths that we have, in the blessings that we have, in the abilities and the strengths literally that we have, to be able to balance it out, to not say, I'm the greatest in the world, because I'm not. Neither are you. None of us are. But we have this idea that we are trying to use our strengths and balance them out in order to make our lives better, in order to make the world a better place. And we're doing that. So listening deeply strengthens our hearts. Together today, on this day, day 10, let's ask ourselves, where is the beauty in this? We are one human family, one heart of abundant love. We love you. When will I see you? I'll see you tomorrow at 9:30. I'll see you tomorrow in person or virtual at 7:30. We will see you. And then again, I will see you at 9:30 tomorrow night. Let's continue to do this work. And you know what, Elisa? You're right. No, I lied. My screen just moved. But you are always right. I'm kidding. I didn't mean to say that wasn't you. Samantha, you're right. Tired of defending who we are. This happened just quickly. The situation that happened today has never happened. But at the same cemetery 3 days ago, something else strange happened where somebody came up. I was standing next to the grave and they were coming from the cars. And a guy, I knew it was going to happen. I was waiting for it. I was standing with the funeral director and he kind of panned the area. Meanwhile, I'm standing next to the foreman, the funeral director, and the grave. And he says out loud, "Where is the rabbi anyway? I don't see him." And so I already knew, but I won him over quickly because I didn't let it get to me. And so, you know what? Yes, we're tired of defending ourselves as Jews. We're tired of defending ourselves as people, the genders that we are, whoever we are. As we show up in the world, why can't we just be accepted for who we are? To find the balance and use our strength wisely. That's what we're here for. And one last quick thing. Something else. You know what? Defending who you are. My nephew came home today from school and said to my sister, I don't want to quote him incorrectly, and said to my sister that a girl said that he and his friend are bad because they're Jewish. And so that's an 8-year-old. Today he went to school in his Maccabiah Israel soccer uniform. And he always wears a chain that has his number 33, which is his soccer number and his baseball number. But today he wore his dog tag that has a Jewish star on it. And he was there, out and proud. And then he was told that Jews are bad. It's unbelievable. This is the world that we're living in. Here on the North Shore of Long Island. It's everywhere. So let's not give up. Let's not try to be someone we're not, but let us be proud of who we are, even if it means that we have to defend ourselves over and over and over again. Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, 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 Am Yisrael Chai. Od Avinu Chai. Lila Tov, everyone. Great to be with you. Elisa, Samantha, Bet, Margaret, Amy, Elisa, Bonnie, Linda, Rachel, Debbie. I'm sure the rabbi, maybe he didn't check in yet, or maybe who knows what he's doing, but I'm sure he'll listen to this. And I don't even think he knew Georgie's story. So I'm sure he'll be calling my phone momentarily. But let's remember, let's stand up for who we are and who we believe in and who we are supposed to be. Let us not back down. Let us show the world that we are entitled to be who we are on this day and every day. Balance within strength. Let's find it together. I'll see you in the morning. I'll see you in the evening. I'll see you at night. Let's do this together. Amen.